going on YouTube? I am back with another video, and as you can see from the title and thumbnail, I am sending even more cards to SGC. So I still have my group BGS submissions going on, but personally I am sending a few cards to SGC just because I really like their turnaround times, I really like their prices, and I think it is a really good alternative opposed to PSA and BGS to send lower end cards. So I still have not received my first submission back. I know those are graded and they should be back here in a couple days. They have shipped out. I just have not received them back, but I was overall pretty happy with the results. And they actually send you scans of the cards after they are graded. So you can go ahead and list them on eBay. And I actually listed a few on eBay and I have already sold 3 cards. So people are definitely out there buying SGC cards, and I think there is definitely money to be made. So I wanted to send some more cards and talk about the values that I think these cards are and what they can sell for, and then some cards that you should be sending to SGC or that are good candidates for SGC. So like I said, I think BGS and PSA should probably be reserved more for the higher end cards, and then SGC is a really good alternative. If you want your cards back relatively quickly and at a pretty inexpensive price, I think that is a very good option. And like I said, I have already sold some and I have a lot of views and watchers on some of the other cards on eBay. So people are definitely out there buying SGC cards. So I'll go ahead and get into this. This is actually gonna be my biggest SGC submission. So I'm sending 14 cards. The first submission I sent 9 cards, the second one I sent 6, and now I'm sending 14 cards. And these should actually be back around the same time as the submission where I sent the 6 cards. I did that one at 20 day, and I actually did this one at 15 day to try to get these back a little bit quicker. I went through and figured out the cost of the submission and the average profit I think I can make on all of these cards, and I do think it was worth it. So the difference in the 10 day, 15 day, and 20 day, so 20 day is $10 a card, 15 day is $15 a card, and then 10 day is $20 a card. I think I got that right. There's a lot of numbers in there. But anyway, I did this at 15 day turnaround time, and these were $15 a piece plus $25 for shipping. So the total cost of this submission is $235. And I am just saying that, depending on what the grades are and what the different cards get, because some of these are bigger than others, I just went through and made an average price on these cards of $50 per card. So if I were to get $50 on every single one of these cards, that would come out to $700. Subtract that from the $235 cost, and you are looking at around a $450 profit. So I definitely think that is worth it. And I think some of these cards do have a really good shot at getting a good grade. So with that being said, I don't have that first submission back, but I do know what they got. And I will say that they graded a lot tougher than I thought. I didn't spend a ton of time on those cards looking over them and making sure they were in absolutely perfect condition, because I thought SGC was going to be a little bit more lenient than BGS and PSA, and that was absolutely not the case. So I don't want to spoil that, but you guys will see those grades here in a few days. So I did look these over pretty close, and I think these all should get graded pretty well. So the first one is a Trey Young out of Court Kings, and this is a prime example of a pretty low-end card, but it is of Trey Young, so it should be a pretty liquid card. If it gets a 9, 5, or 10, I would expect this to not really have any trouble selling. And when I say liquid, I mean you should be able to move it pretty quick. So some of the cards that I listed on eBay for my first submission, they were gone in less than a day. So you want to be sending cards or players like Trey, Luka, LeBron, and Giannis. You'll see some of the cards I have, but you want to send, in my opinion, to SGC some lower end cards, probably under $100 value of big players like this, like Trey Young. So first one up is Court Kings. Next one is the premier level rookie Trey Young. So like I said earlier, some of these cards are bigger than others. I would fully expect, if this comes back in SGC 10, I would fully expect this one to do 100 plus. But again, I just thought $50 was a relatively safe number for all these cards. So I would expect a minimum profit on this submission of around $400 to $500. So, you know, obviously if these all come back SGC 10s, it's going to be way, way better than that. But then if they all come back SGC 9s, it might be worse than that. So anyway, second card is another Trey Young, rookie premier level out of Select. And then the next one is going to be a premier level from this year's Select of RJ Barrett. And again, SGC 10, I think this one easily does 100 or better. So fingers crossed. That is the third one. And then I am sending a bunch of Lukas here. So I've sent most of my Lukas that I thought were worth sending to BGS and PSA, but these were some of the more like lower end stuff. I'm like, if I were to sell these raw, you're probably looking at maybe anywhere from $5 to $15. But if you do send them to SGC, they get an SGC 10. I think you're easily looking at somewhere in the $70, maybe $80 range. So I do think they are worth a shot at sending to SGC. And all of these you'll see are from Chronicles. So this is just the Panini version out of Chronicles, Luka. And then next one is Studio from Chronicles. And again, all these Lukas that you're about to see are pretty inexpensive cards, somewhere around like the $10 range. But like I said, you know, you send these and they get an SGC 10 and their value goes up quite a bit. Now this one might be a tough one. As you can see, this one is a lot darker on the, you know, the corners and edges might be quite a bit tougher than some of the other ones to pull that 10, but I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and send it. And you know, I evaluated a bunch of cards earlier to send to SGC and I did pull a bunch out. So I think these are the best of the best. And another Luka out of Rookies and Stars, again from Chronicles. So a little hint of white on that corner down there. Not sure if you can see that, but hopefully that won't knock it too much. Like I said, I was kind of surprised on the grades from the first submission. They did grade because, you know, like I said, I didn't spend a ton of time on those cards, but I did look them over fairly close under the magnifying glass and everything, and some of them didn't grade so well. So you guys will see that in a few days. But the next one is a Luka second year Prism, and if you look these up on eBay, these have actually, SGC 10s have sold on eBay for around the $100 mark. So if I'm sending, okay, so only one Luka, but I have a bunch of RJ Barretts, and again, that's kind of the same thing, around the $70 to $80 mark as SGC 10s. So hopefully, you know, if these do all come back as SGC 10s, which, you know, I'm not counting on that. I'm not counting on going 14 for 14, but you know, that return on investment could be quite a bit more than what I said earlier at 400 or 500. So I do have 3 base Prism RJ Barretts, and like I said, look these up on eBay. These have sold, SGC 10s of just the base Prism RJ have sold for around the $75 mark. So that could be looking at $225 right there. And I mean, if these get SGC 10s, that pays for the submission right there, and then the rest is profit. So there is definitely money to be made with SGC, and we are coming down to the last few here. So LeBron. So you guys get the picture. Send the top rookies, the top stars, the Treys, the Lukas, the LeBrons, the RJs, obviously Zion and Ja, and then you'll see here LeBron. This is an insert from last year's Optic, but it is a hollow version, and this is not the biggest card in the world. Again, probably $5 to $10, but then you turn it into an SGC, and I think this shoots up, you know, again, probably around the $75 mark. So there you go on that one. And the next one, this one could end up doing really good if that one can pull a SGC 10. This is a Kobe out of Threads from last year, the Dazzle version. And I honestly didn't even know I had that card. I was just going through some boxes trying to find some cards to send to be graded. Came across this, and it looks to be in really good shape. No, not really any edge or corner wear or anything like that. So looks pretty solid. So fingers crossed on that one. Really hope that one pulls that 10. And then the last one is a Vlad out of Top Series 2, I believe. And I think that one could be, now would really be the time to send baseball stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of baseball stuff, so I am going to send this one. I did look at some Tatis and Eloy stuff and Pete Alonso, but they didn't look to be in great shape, so I don't think they had a shot at a 10. And honestly, this one might not. I think I saw there's a little hint of white on that corner down there, so we'll have to see, you know, how they grade. And one thing I do like their grading scale, how it's similar to Beckett, where they have the pristine 10, the gym mint 10, and then it goes 9, 5, 9, and all that. But I do wish they had subgrades, because on some of the ones on the first submission that got like 9s or 9.5s, I'm curious to know like why. What did I miss when I was looking at them? So one thing that I've kind of realized from grading with PSA and Beckett and SGC, I really like having the subgrades, just because you can see if your card gets a BGS 9, you know exactly why. So I really like that. But anyway, that is going to do it for the video. I'm recording this on Tuesday, May 12th. I think it's probably going to go up the next day, tomorrow on Wednesday, because I do have another video that I want to record here in a minute that I want to put out the same day. So anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy that, and hopefully you learned something, took something away. And if you guys are interested in sending it to SGC, I would encourage you to check out their website. Very user-friendly, very easy to submit on your own, and very inexpensive. You do not need to do a group submission or anything like that. So that is going to do it for the video, and I'll see you soon.